Alright guys, so it's Sunday, start my new job tomorrow. I did not get paint on the 55. I actually have something going on back here, and I don't like that sanded down like that. This blocked out really fine before, so my opinion is I need to get the chassis done and painted and get it bolted back down and go back and check this again. I mean, you can see a ripple in it right above, up in here, when I wet it down and looked down it. And I know this was flat before, so something's up. I'm just not sure. It could be that I unbolted it. But. So anyway, I'm a little bummed out that I didn't get paint on my car, but I'm kind of over it. I actually found that a couple days ago. So as far as Saturday and today, I've been working on an old motorcycle. Just kind of changing it up a little bit and give me something a little new. I'm burnt out on the 55 once again. So I've done a video of this before. This is a 1984 Honda Interceptor 700, VF 700. It's one of my bucket list bikes. This is what I wanted when I was a kid. I had a GPZ 305, an 83 model that I rode. And my brother's boss had one of these bikes that was absolutely mint. I always kept in his garage with a cover on it, and man, I wanted that bike so bad. Somebody else ended up buying it, and I don't know where it ever went. But so I always told myself that one day I'd get one. Well, anyway, these bikes, that 1983 to 1985 Interceptors, the V4 engines are very notorious for wiping out cams. I don't know if anybody's ever come to the real conclusion of what wipes the cams out, but I did get an engine with this bike. It was pretty much mostly complete. It was missing some of the plastics and stuff, but anyway, the engine was out of it, and you can see orange RTV silicone between the case halves, so I'm a little worried about it. It's probably going to leak, and I really don't know why they took it apart. The guy told me there was something wrong with the transmission, but who knows if it was fixed properly or not. That with the cam oiling problems and the cams going flat and stuff, I'd kind of planned before on putting an inline 4 Honda, like a CBR 600 engine in it or something. But anyway, the guy that I sold the Monte Carlos to, he actually had an 86 700cc Interceptor engine from a crashed bike. In 1986, they redesigned the whole engine. It's still the V4, but they went to a cam-driven gear, so there's no more oiling issues. So that's pretty awesome, but it's still pretty much the same engine, looks-wise. So anyway, when he came and picked up some more Monte Carlo parts the other day, he brought that engine, and it kind of sparked my interest to do something with the Interceptor again. So I worked on this yesterday and today. I have a Yamaha FZR 1000. It's a 1987, I think, 1987 model. This is actually the whole front end on the bike. Now, surprisingly, the bearing races went into the front tube for the Interceptor. The Interceptor has the old ball bearing style headset, and the FZR 1000 has tapered roller bearings, which is pretty freaking cool. So when I took everything apart, the tapered roller bearing races drove right in there. It was the exact size tube. So I set the front end up. Now I've got this kind of buttoned up and bolted down, but I can't get my spanner nut, underneath this. I kind of thought about taking this piece and having it milled under there because it's pretty thick around there, and then I could get the nut on there. So I don't really know if it would be an issue if this was maybe drilled and safety wired or something, which would look kind of cool. But I don't know that it really needs a spanner nut. I mean, I'm not a super big bike builder. This is like my first mild custom bike. I mean, I know mechanic-wise stuff on motorcycles, but I've never done anything like this. But anyway, I did the front end upgrade mainly because the front wheel on my Interceptor had a big dent in it. It was flat spotted pretty bad, so I needed a wheel. Also, the forks from the bike being left outside for years, they were so severely pitted that they wouldn't have taken a reseal. They'd just end up chewing the seals up. So I needed forks and a rim. And I ended up getting a whole roller FZR 1000. So I got all the front end on here now. So it'll work. It actually had this front fender. It's actually a two-piece thing, and then it has this stainless piece here, or aluminum, that goes in here, which I really don't like. I had this fender in my shed. I don't have any idea what it's off of, and I kind of like the look better, so I may go with this. But the coolest part about this is the giant rotors on the front. It really gives that bike the modern look. I wish it was inverted forks, but I can live with this, you know. I still want the Interceptor to look like an Interceptor. When I restore it, you know, the body and paint and all that, it'll have the original style striping and decals and everything, and I'll have all the, you know, the V4 logo on the bottom and the Interceptor logo down the side. It'll pretty much look just like an Interceptor. I just wanted to change some things. The rear wheel actually is off a 600 FCR, so it's a ½ inch narrower. So I do need to get a 1000 wheel. But this is the FCR 1000 rear swing arm. It didn't bring it back just a little bit further, but not a lot. By the time this is done, because the Interceptor, you know, it has a little, the rim is 3 inches wide. The 600 rim is 4 inch, and the 1000 is 4.5. So I want it as fat as I can get it for a fat back tire to give it that look. Now, on my 86 model engine, none of my mounting points are right. Now, luckily, this frame is steel, so I have a gas MIG, you know, and I'll actually build my own brackets and everything, and you know, I'll build my own tabs and make that engine go in here. Now, I'm probably gonna have to build custom exhaust and everything, which will be kind of fun. I'm not trying to do a hurried job on the bike. It'll be a project, you know, that'll probably drag on for a few years like my 55 has. Just when I get in the mood, I'll tinker on it a little bit. But anyway, the other cool thing about the FZR 1000 was the shock that was on it. This thing is awesome. This is a Fox shock, twin clicker. It has an iBox spring on it, and it is red and blue. Now, I don't think this shock has ever been actually ran. That FZR looked like somebody was starting a nice resto mod on it. The frame was fully polished. Swing arm was polished, and they had a lot of new pieces on it. But I don't think they ever got it back together. But anyway, this is the shock that I'll be using on the bike. Because that'll, you know, red and blue, and the Interceptor's red, white, and blue. So I think that's going to be really cool. I'll probably end up doing the wheels white, because the Interceptor, you know, had black with a polished lip, and the main color of the bike's white. So anyway, just something I'm kind of playing with and tinkering on a little bit is this. I think it'll be a neat bike. I didn't really want to buy anything for it right now, but I was messing around on eBay, and I do the same thing with old cars. If you get something that's kind of unique or really old, you might have trouble finding parts. So I usually go through and do a lot of research and see what's available and what's not. They did have a reproduction windscreen, the fairing windshield, but there was only one left, and it was a repop of a new one. You know, I don't know if they're fully discontinued or what the deal is, but it was the only one that I found on the internet through Amazon and eBay. So I went ahead and snagged it. Luckily, I had a little money in PayPal. The windscreen on this Interceptor has that brown smoky look, and I don't really like that. I like the nice dark black smoke. So, and this one's all scratched up, which you know, I could sand and buff it, but anyway. So this is just kind of what I'm playing with the last couple of days. I'm kind of enjoying it. It's a little bit different, you know. But anyway, that's pretty much it.